High school sports fans, are you following Varsity Media on our YouTube channel? For the best coverage of New York high school sports, make sure you head to youtube.com/varsity media. 3 easy steps. First, hit that like button, and then be sure to subscribe. And finally, tap that yellow bell to be notified of all of our upcoming sportscasts. Thank you for following Varsity Media on YouTube.
From Fordham's Rose Hill Gymnasium, one more spot is yet to be booked. Will it be St. Francis Prep looking to reach their first Catholic final since 1997? Or will it be Archbishop Stepinac with a chance to go back-to-back in the Catholic High School League? That's what's on the line here in this, the second CHSAA AA intersectional semifinal. This game is sponsored by Maspeth Federal Savings. Well, good evening, everyone. Dylan Butler alongside John Perez. One spot is already accounted for as the Kingsmen of Nazareth in their first year in the AA have reached the championship game. Now, either they'll take on a team that hasn't been there since 1997 in St. Francis Prep, or a team that has been there a lot in recent history. So it's going to be an interesting matchup between two teams who have been to a lot of semifinals these last few years.
Yeah, and for Stepinac, they've been the barometer over the last couple of years, Dylan, especially with one of their top players in Boogie Flan, who showed out the other day against Christ the King. And when we spoke to St. Francis Prep head coach Jimmy Lynch, he said, we don't want to be just participants in this game. We want to get to the final. It's nice to get to the semifinal and build that consistency, but eventually you have to win it if you're St. Francis Prep, and that's what's on the line for them today. Two good contrasting storylines, and we'll see if the Terriers have enough to take on a Stepinac team that was punched in the gut, lost in the Archdiocese final, but either way, now a chance to get back to the final once again.
Let's take a look at the bracket and see how these two teams booked their spots there, or here, I should say, as St. Francis Prep having to deal with that Jekyll and Hyde Cardinal Hayes team up by 20, and they survived and advanced a struggle late in that 71-68 win. And on the other side, almost a similar story, right, where Stepinac opened up a sizable lead against Christ the King, and you knew the Royals would come back, and they did, but Stepinac defensively played really well in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, Stepinac really locking the door on Dwayne Pierce and Pong Kin Fong. Doing a great job defensively, and of course they had Boogie Fland as well, who notched in 43 points in the victory. And we'll take a look at those highlights here Sunday afternoon, and we start with St. Francis Prep. Cardinal Hayes, as Montesacco had it working early on. Not his vintage 31-point performance, but St. Francis Prep knocked in 10 threes. Troy Faison had 4 of them, and then Nolan Raymond had 3 of his own. But St. Francis Prep, as they go up 20, lead starting to dwindle away. You've got Magic Mel, Kaylin Destin, and oh yeah, Trayvon Lewis in there as well. As Cardinal Hayes got this down to a 3-point game, and with time remaining down, it's the St. Francis Prep defense that books a spot into the semifinals, where they face Boogie Flan and the future Kentucky Wildcat. He had it going early on. 10 points in the first quarter. He finished with 43. Here's a buzzer beater on the first quarter. He did it again in the second quarter, but when it rains, it pours. Too much Flan, not going down without a fight, trying to get to the final Sunday in March, where Christ the King comes back, hitting a couple of threes in the corner. Ziegler, that's Cam Ziegler knocking it down, but too much Boogie Flan, messed around, had a double-double, and Stepinac back in the semifinals to take on St. Francis Prep.
Terriers in their third consecutive trip to the semifinals, and 2 years ago it hadn't happened in a generation, so that was celebrated a little bit. And as you mentioned in the open, or early portions of our open, Jimmy Lynch said he kind of felt like his guys were like a little bit satisfied that, hey, we made it this far, that's great for us, but that changes today, or tonight, I should say. They absolutely are focused on getting to the final. And listen, we saw in that quarterfinal, it was a steady diet of threes. 10 made threes, and when they weren't knocking down threes, they were feeding the big man inside, Osmana Sacco. That recipe, you would suspect, would be on display here tonight if St. Francis are to win.
Well, that's the thing. If you get Sacco going early and he's hitting his threes, he's going to be unstoppable to watch. He's going to come into frame right here on the left. Look at that 6'6" size. We'll wait momentarily, but either way, you won't miss him. When he's hitting his threes in the corner, that's when he's at his best, because it just opens up his game. And Sacco, one of the top players in the CHSAA.
And also one of our impact players here for St. Francis Prep. Let's take a look at those guys. And Vera Anthony, terrific numbers in the quarterfinals, really filled the stat sheet. 11 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. And as you mentioned, not that 31-point performance he had in the Brooklyn Queens Championship game, but still 20 and 3 from Big O helped the Terriers get back and to the semifinals, but also get a bit of a gorilla off their back. Their season was ended by Joe Lodes and Cardinal Hayes in back-to-back years, so they survived that, and now they take on a Stepinac team that, listen, as you said, they've been as advertised. They had that bullseye largely because of Boogie Flan's and winning the championship last year on their back. He was unbelievable in last year's final. If you didn't see it, well, first of all, shame on you. Second of all, you could watch the replay on the Varsity Media Sports Network, but he was outstanding. Maybe second only to that performance is what he did here. 43 points, as you mentioned. And listen, he had an off game in the Archdiocese final, and it feels like he's the type of player, maybe his mental build-up or whatever it is, but he is not going to have back-to-back bad games.
No, and that's a big reason why John Calipari wants him in Lexington next year, and for however long he is a Wildcat, because he's able to shake it off. He's got a professional mentality and has no problem just shaking off a bad performance, internalizing it, and then not letting it sulk and not letting it spread to his teammates. His leadership has been lauded over the offseason, how he's grown as a player. He knows what it means to win 2 championships in the CHSAA, and he wants to be one of only a select few to do so.
He is, of course, one of our 2 impact players for the Crusaders. The other, Braylon Ritvo, who has actually held scoreless. Christ the King made a concerted effort to take the ball away from him, still contributed defensively and helped the Crusaders lead. You see there an all-league first-team selection. Let's take a look at the keys as we are getting set for the start of this one for both of these teams here tonight.
Yeah, let's start with the Terriers. Limit Flan's touches. Yeah, good luck. But what you can do is you have to face guard him and get in those passing lanes, and that's what you do. You get stops that way. That'll fuel the offense, and just embrace the moment. Enjoy it, but they're not just participants. They want to move on to the next round. For Stepinac, a little bit more precisional. Limit the transition points because St. Francis Prep can get up and down the floor. Be solid in the half-court defense because St. Francis Prep can be methodical at times, and just good shots all the time. You make shots, you win the game.
It is St. Francis Prep. It is Archbishop Stepinac. The CHSAA AA Intersectional Semifinals coming up when we return right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
My name's Grant Vermeer, a member of the Crown Refs community. My first year as a high school official, that's when I found out about the Crown Refs community. Having my military background, I love being a part of teams. I want to be a part of a group that has high standards, that holds each other accountable, but also supports and loves each other, and has a desire for everyone in the group to grow. If you're a young referee or someone who loves refereeing and wants to be a part of a group, this is an amazing community for you. I feel like I've gotten better as an official. I've had a community and friends and support through this process, which can otherwise be a little bit lonely as you're on the road a lot. The culture is amazing in here. Make sure to come check it out.
Are you a local business looking for new and creative ways to promote your company? Varsity Media offers affordable rates that can get your message across to a demographic of 18 to 54 years of age. Our follower base across social media is over 50,000 strong, and our viewership numbers per game are in the thousands. Don't blow your advertising budget on old staples like TV and radio media. Reach out to Varsity Media to get the best bang for your buck.
Hey sports fans, did you know Varsity Media live stream broadcasts get viewed by college coaches nationwide? Through our announcers' storytelling and insight on your athletes, we can help your players get an edge on college recruiting. Find out how by reaching out to Varsity Media today, 516-403-2050, or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Welcome back to Rose Hill Gymnasium. Dylan Butler, John Perez, our entire Varsity Media crew here with you for this second CHSAA AA semifinal. It features St. Francis Prep, the Brooklyn Queens champion. They come in at 20-8 on the year. And Archbishop Stepinac, an upset loss to St. Ray's in the Archdiocese final. They are 23-4. The only team in the CHSAA to beat them this year was St. Ray's on that Saturday afternoon at the Mount.
And that was a game where everything was going right for St. Ray's, and Stepinac was dealing with Boogie Flan, who was dealing with not an ankle sprain, but a nagging ankle injury, was able to shoot his way out of it against Christ the King.
Let's take a look at the starting lineup now for Stepinac. And there you see Carbusia. We have to keep an eye on Danny Carbusia dealing with that groin injury. You see Ritvo, Jordan Gabriel coming off probably his best game as a Crusader, and Josiah Jervis as well inside.
Good to see for Stepinac, too. I know he's not in the starting lineup, but Dylan Perry gets an approved mask as well. Stepinac, listen, injuries happen. You don't want them to happen at this time of the season, but they're a resilient group trying to get through to the finish line.
Head coach Pat Massaroni, 9th season, a Stepinac grad himself, and also the coach of the year this year in the Catholic High School League. Now for the Terriers of St. Francis Prep. This is also an unchanged starting lineup. It starts with Big O, Osman Asako, and you see Nolan Raymond. He benefits from a coach who's superstitious and the fact that he played well and they won. So he's been in there. Tyler Michelle on the bench, but not for very long.
No, not at all, and they have some depth, St. Francis Prep, and hey, listen, if it's going to affect the first couple of minutes, but it also, you know what it does, Dylan? Not just superstition aside, but it lets Nolan Raymond know, hey, I trust you to start, and you're a quality player. I'm going to give you some run. Show me that I'm right here.
The referees for today's game: Oren Barfield, Anthony Carnaccio, and Jimmy Nolan. Improve your officiating with Crown Refs, the ultimate resource for basketball officials. Explore their podcasts and daily videos on all social platforms and join the Crown Ref community. Simply go to patreon.com/crownrefs. Serve the game. An excellent crew for game 2 here of this doubleheader. Terriers in their home whites by winning the Brooklyn Queens championship. So they're BQ1 on your
correct
bracket, and Stepinac NY2. Look out. Lauren Barfield will tip it again. And it goes to the Terriers. And interesting right away, Vera Anthony playing off the ball. Troy Faison's development this year has allowed him to do that, and there is Faison on the ball. They feed Sacco. The kick out. Raymond steps it back. Here's Big O. 7 on the shot. Sacco trying to get to the rim. He does, and there's the first basket.
Love the way of Sacco muscling his way inside, and definitely has a lot of girth. He'll have the size advantage. One of the taller players on the floor, he and Jordan Gabriel. It'll be a fun one to watch.
Carbucia. Corner 3. Good.
And that's...
Ritvo went scoreless against Christ the King and knocks down his first shot.
That's what I was going to say. Play by design for Massaroni. You want to get Ritvo involved very early, especially to shake off that goose egg.
There's Faison, guarded by Fland. Bounce pass trying to get it to Vera Anthony. Kickball was called. These two teams met on Valentine's Day, which was senior night at Stepinac, and Boogie Fland put up the first 14 points of that game, and it was the Crusaders winning by 10. Now, that was a game where this guy didn't play. There's Sacco inside. Harassed and stolen away. Ritvo. But Vera Anthony didn't play. Nolan Raymond didn't play. Carbucia, what a look, and the finish inside by Gabriel.
Carbucia's just really grown as a great passer and always seems to find the open man. So does Anthony.
3 ball off the mark by Nigel Moore, and Jimmy Lynch, in our conversation leading into this one, said as there's a foul on the drive, we can ill afford to get out to a slow start. We trail by double digits. You might as well forget about it. Now, he did say that about Christ the King in the Brooklyn Queens semifinals, and his team did rally for that win. But this is a different level, a different situation. Kind of felt that was even maybe a little bit of fool's gold.
Well, either way, you want to get out to a hot start, especially against what Flan, Carbucia, and Ritvo can bring to the table. And Stepinac, the deepest team in the league, regardless of where they finished in their seeding. But yeah, you can't let Fland get hot early on. But here's the thing about Fland and getting off to a good start. He could maybe make a bucket, but he'll have 2 steals. He'll have a couple of assists. He could beat you in so many ways as well. He's not a one-trick pony.
Does a good job defending as well, and maybe more unheralded on that side. There's Sacco for 3. No good. Rebound. It went off of, I thought it went off of Anthony, but Orrin Barfield said it stays with the Terriers. Vera Anthony to inbound. We said Tyler Michelle wouldn't be on the bench too long, and within 2 minutes on the floor. There he is, number 13, looking for the ball, but Sacco spins, turns, gets to the basket, and kind of locks feet with Jordan Gabriel. Good to see both of those guys up. Jervis!
What a nifty little move. Someone who might be the best pure shooter, and because of that, St. Francis Prep has to honor his three-point prowess, and that allows him to cut inside.
Vera Anthony on the ball, really for the first time. Foul line jumper is good. Soft touch for Vera Anthony.
You know, Dylan, we talk so much about St. Francis Prep and getting guys started offensively early. For Anthony, it doesn't matter when he scores because he's always on and always contributing, making winning plays for the Terriers.
Faison doing what Boogie Flan was unable to do on Stepinac's last possession. Hit that runner in the lane.
And good answer back by St. Francis Prep. I know they were down 4, and it doesn't seem like a lot, but the way that Stepinac defends, 4-point lead, that can balloon pretty quickly.
There's Jervis. He'll look to go baseline. Michelle takes that away. Goes back there again. Tried to feed Gabriel. Deflects out to Carbucia from that A in the A-10. No good. Offensive rebound by Gabriel, the kick out, and the three is good by Jervis.
And we just said before, he can light it up from downtown and showing both ends of the floor.
Raymond to Sacco. Gabriel on him. One of the few guys in this league, I think, who can match him with his size. Anthony tucks it under, and he's fouled on the way up. And I love, too, that you made the point, because sometimes I don't know if it's said enough, because so many people get lost in the greatness of Boogie Fland. And, yes, he's a McDonald's All-American. There's no doubt about it. Best player in this league. But there isn't a team that has the depth that Stepinac has in the Catholic League.
No, and I mean, I'll make the bold statement here. Without Boogie Fland, I think Stepinac can still win the regular season title and perhaps the New York AA Archdiocese. So, and that just goes to show how good players 2 through 14 are for Stepinac. And, you know, they've been hobbled with injuries too this year. Howard Isley Jr. is a great player who just unfortunately has not been playing. He's been sidelined due to injury. They've got a lot of weapons over there, and that's a reason why they're in the finals every single year.
Anthony drains them both, and it's an 11-10 game early on. And there's Carbucia. Feed inside. Ritvo, no good. Loose ball. We're staying with Stepinac. Defensively, Pat Massaroni said in that Christ the King game, they had to kind of hide Carbucia defensively. And doesn't think, because of kind of all the backdoor cuts and all the different variations on that 5-out that St. Francis Prep plays, that he'll have that opportunity today.
Very good man-to-man defense by St. Francis Prep, and good feed.
Count it. As Jervis, he's scoring from inside, he's scoring from outside.
And see, Dill, this is where Stepinac can go on these runs and have one-man runs. And this time it's Josiah Jervis ringing the bell on a pretty feed by Fland. Splits inside. Sacco caught between a rock and a hard place, because if he commits to Fland, that leaves Jervis open. If he lets Fland by him, it's a bucket for Boogie.
Well, what it was that head fake by Fland got Sacco in the air, and now he's not set defensively and then called for the foul. So the three-point play gives the Crusaders a 4-point lead. Ritvo denying Sacco. This allows Faison, though, to get to the basket, and as Jimmy Lynch has done so often, he'll call that 30-second timeout just past the midway point of the first quarter. It's not situational at all. It's just what he's done, really, I think, since his time as head coach.
It's his media timeout. That's what he needs to have a reset. But, no, listen, it's a good drawn-up play here, and this allows Faison to get open. Good vision by Anthony, too. Give and go. It feels like those two are always in sync and connected at the hip. And good high-low action off the screen and a bucket for the Terriers.
Jimmy Lynch, class of 1999. In his 7th season as head coach, won game number 100 this year as head coach, and still goes with the old Tim Leary look with the sweater as well. And of course, Tim Leary, 43 years as the head coach of the Terriers, one of the legends in this Catholic High School League. Off the timeout, there's Fland. Ritvo, guarded baseline by Michelle. The kick out to Carbucia. Jervis looks to go up and under, rejected by Sacco. Ball kicks out to Carbucia. What a look down low. The finish not there, though, by Caresi.
That's one that Caresi wishes he had back, as Stepinac had the numbers.
Sacco tries to back down Ritvo. Tough baseline jumper off the mark. And now Ritvo leaks out on this transition opportunity. Fland, though, pulls up and buries the jumper.
Yeah, very good mid-range jumper. That's going to translate to the next level, too. He's almost automatic from that elbow in.
That old school look, right? It's a lost art in today's game. Here's Sacco down low. Battles. And they'll call the foul. Carbuccia came in to help, trying to force the jump ball. But Ritvo is called for the foul.
And a little frustration on the foul, too. He wanted to be called for the hold.
Terriers will go about 7, maybe 8 deep on their bench as Caresi now called for the foul. Four-point lead for Stepinac inside the final 2 minutes of this first quarter. There's a handoff to Veer Anthony. Inside to Sacco. The kick out. And now Sacco for 3. Side rim, no good. Flan the rebound, then he's off and running. Ritvo for 3. Front rim, no good. Gets his own rebound. Ritvo attacks Sacco wisely. Doesn't get the finish. Another offensive rebound. Caresi. He'll get the finish.
Stepinac just not giving up on the play. Terriers don't box out. And that gives the Crusaders a 6-point lead. Just over a minute to play.
Foul line jumper, Veer Anthony, off the mark. As here's Fland inside the final minute of this first quarter. Ritvo swings it, Jervis, one more. Open 3 from the corner, off the mark. That was Amir Sullivan who took it. Losing it was Faison. Here's Caresi. Ball in the court. Jervis comes away and gets the layup.
It's all breaking for Stepinac. They're on every loose ball. They're playing hard till the final couple of seconds. A big reason why they're up 8.
10 first quarter points for Josiah Jervis. Faison to Michelle. With 3, Michelle, Veer Anthony for 3. That's off the mark. And that does it for the first quarter. So Josiah Jervis buried a 3, knocked down a free throw, got to the basket as the defending champions. Throw the first punch. There's Jervis. Even the loose balls go their way in the first quarter. Stepinac by 8. You're watching the CHSAA semis on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
This is Jalen Brunson. You're watching Varsity Media.
Welcome back to Rose Hill Gym. Dylan Butler, John Perez, our entire Varsity Media crew. There's a good look at Pat Massaroni. Also a grad of the school that he's coaching, 2006 graduate of Archbishop Stepinac. Once upon a time was the student manager when Tim Philp was the head coach, and now running the show as one of the most successful head coaches in this league.
And doing it so quickly as well.
Getting to the basket quickly was Carbuccia.
I guess the groin's fine for Carbuccia. He was a game-time decision before their victory over Christ the King and was moving well in the first quarter.
Faison for 3, side rim. And all those threes that were dropping against Cardinal Hayes are not today. Caresi. Block on his way there. In fact, St. Francis Prep yet to knock down a triple. 0 for 6. Actually, 0 for 5, excuse me.
Well, not just that. Now it's 9 unanswered points for Stepinac, and a lot of those threes have been contested.
Well, those missed threes now lead to transition opportunities, and that's where you've got so many weapons, right, for Stepinac.
Including this guy, Caresi, who's almost automatic at the free throw line. And that's the thing. You got to love in high school when you're north of 80% as a shooter, because these guys are only getting to the free throw line a couple of times per contest.
Yeah, Boogie Flan right there with him as well, 83%. Faison lost the ball. And here come the Crusaders the other way. Carbucia hands off. Sullivan down low. Bobbling at their baseline, and then a traveling violation was called. There's our first look at Adonis Ratliff. 6'8" sophomore.
Someone who's a spark plug off the bench, and to imagine the doctors are saying he'll probably be a 7-footer. MVP of the JV team. So they captured a title last year. I mean, Stepinac and White Plains has been title town, regardless of the level.
Also another son of a former NBA player. Dad Theo, of course. Hold is called. This against Josh Rivera. So what is this already now? 7-8 deep for Stepinac already, and Masperoni will rotate guys in. Big O inside, takes on 4 different Crusaders, doesn't get a foul call, and here's Carbucia. Swings it, open 3, side rim, no good, and here comes Vier Anthony, and the Terriers, for the first time, really able to push it, but bobbling it was Sacco, and rejected as well. I think Carbucia got a piece.
Yeah, Carbucia had a piece of it, and St. Francis Prep not taking advantage with Fland and Jordan Gabriel on the bench.
Carbucia kicks it, 3, no good. And that's the thing, even if Stepinac aren't scoring points, St. Francis Prep isn't either with those guys on the bench. But now they are, as Vier Anthony count it and the foul. And just like that, here come the replacements.
Well, you get a nice 2-minute break, and take another look at Vier Anthony bumbling inside. Count it.
Like some of those Crusaders you referenced before, Vier Anthony, an excellent free throw shooter as well. Plays both ends as he misses this one with reckless abandon. Missed the end of the regular season with a back injury, including that Stepinac loss. And Jimmy Lynch said, we're going to throw a lot of different looks at Boogie Flam, but there's no doubt right away, as I think that was Ethan Butler called inside for the foul, it will be Vier Anthony's job to begin with.
Yeah, 100%. And he's been given the keys. King of the castle, and, he's played, this team has molded to him so far, but everyone else has gotten involved in it as well. And so with that said, they feed off of him and his energy, and he doesn't have to score 20 points a game to be successful, Dylan, and that's, very helpful when one of your best players is not your top scoring option, but could lead an assist on a given night or rebounds.
Jordan Gabriel goes 1 of 2. The lead 11 for Stepinac. Exactly what Jimmy Lynch said he could not afford his team to do, is get into that double-digit deficit. Faison's 3 off the mark. And Gabriel ripping down the rebounds. And Butler in there again, and we'll have a jump ball. St. Francis Prep possession.
I like what Butler brings off the bench. You know, he's a 6'5 sophomore from the Dwight School. He transferred. He wasn't playing much at the beginning of the season, but just a kid that was patient, got more and more minutes as the season's gone on, and can come in and be a spark plug defensively.
Yeah, there's complexities, certainly, right, to St. Francis Prep's offense. And even Pat Massaroni said that. He said the times as Butler steps out for three, front rim, and this allows Ritvo now to get going. Nice fake by Ritvo as St. Francis Prep will call a timeout. It's a full, so we'll take it with them as well. 4:43 left, second quarter. And it's Stepinac with a 27-14. You're watching it all right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching Varsity Media, New York's premier high school sports network. Looking to grow your business on social media? Let Varsity Media help you. With over 50,000 followers across our platform, sponsor a segment during the broadcast and share it on social media the next day. It's the best of both worlds, as you'll get thousands of plays and your ad will live on the broadcast forever. Contact us today for sponsorship packages by calling 917-470-0864 or emailing varsitymediasponsors@gmail.com.
Welcome back to Rose Hill Gymnasium as Jimmy Lynch trying to draw something up for these Terriers to get them back in it. Stepinac has raced out to a 13-point lead. The point I was making earlier about Ethan Butler is the complexities, right, in the offense. And Pat Massaroni said the times that we've only had like a day to prepare, that Jimmy Lynch's St. Francis Prep team just sliced them up. That now not the case. A few days to get ready. And Massaroni also liked his team's response after the Archdiocese loss. Said, listen, we are 3-3 in Archdiocese games. We know what to do with those 8 days between games.
Yeah, and it's a good way to just retool, refuel, and be ready to go. And boy, did St. Francis Prep need that, as Nolan Raymond, the senior from Queens Village, cans it.
Yeah, that's the first triple for a team that knocked down 10 of them against Cardinal Hayes. There's one that falls for Josiah Jervis.
It's been his half, Dylan. He's attacking on the interior, and now his second three.
Yeah, he's got the high right now with 15. Beer Anthony spins, pretty layup. Can't get at the finish, though. It's been that kind of first half for the Terriers. Jervis. I was going to give him a why not, but he hands off to Carbusia.
Well, his why not is because Danny Carbusia is wide open. I'll give it to him.
And Carbusia, his health was a major storyline coming into this game, but he's been out there a lot and not feeling the ill effect. 11 minutes played so far. And he gets the steal, the outlet to Boogie. Boogie from three. Off the mark. Here's Raymond the other way. Bounce pass. Beer Anthony in the lane. And he'll go back to the foul line.
Carbusia, just as we mentioned his name, picks up the foul, but St. Francis Prep, they've missed 3 of their last 4, trying to cultivate their offense by attacking the inside, and sometimes for Anthony, too, be a little selfish out there. Get yours, get yourself going offensively. I know that he could do so many great things, but sometimes it's just a matter of stepping up yourself.
Veer Anthony this year picking up a couple of D1 offers. Manhattan and Robert Morris. Knocks down the second. Ritvo at the foul line, just committed this season to Tom Pecora in Quinnipiac. Look at this, 4-on-1 break. And Michelle kind of taking one for the team, having to get the foul.
Yeah, you don't want to give up an easy bucket and have this 14-point lead. Just continue to expand.
Michelle late in the regular season, picking up an offer from Queens College. I think that's a good level for him.
Especially a team that likes to shoot and fire and defer on defense.
Here's Flans, and he'll be called for the charge.
I shouldn't say that. Queens College going back to the ECC tournament. They're the 6th seed, headed up to Damon in the first round, coming up this following weekend.
Faison drawing that.
I've learned that if I say something here, people hear it.
People listen to what you say.
They do. Never the compliments.
You are a fire starter. Sacco inside. Oh, he'll go to the foul line.
One wet spot on the floor. I like Sacco trying to insert himself. And listen, St. Francis Prep, they need something. They need something. You got to go to your big guys, our impact players. If Anthony's not going to get it done, you move over to Sacco. Hasn't hit shots from 3, but I like that he hasn't fallen in love with his jump shot either. To try and shoot himself out of it.
Bit too strong on that first free throw attempt. Another guy who's picked up a pair of Division I offers this year, Bryant, LIU. Question is, what is Sacco on the next level? Still, though, a sophomore. So perhaps some more growing for Sacco. Winner of this one takes on Nazareth, who defeated St. Raymond's in the first of our 2 semifinal games. So Nazareth, first year in the AA, first trip back to the final since 1977. Carbusia short. And you feel, we don't know if they'll break through this window, but this window of opportunity is here right now for St. Francis Prep, but another missed shot. Ritvo inside for 2.
Nice little flex afterwards, too. And you're right. I mean, the window is open for St. Francis Prep, but we're just seeing young talent across the league. And, yeah, St. Francis Prep will have a very experienced team next year and a very experienced team at that, but so will everyone else.
Bad news here for St. Francis Prep. Veer Anthony, he'll somehow get this layup, but injured, it would appear, his groin.
Yeah.
And that's not a good sign at all for St. Francis Prep.
I'm not sure if we have the replay earlier, but on the previous sequence, it kind of, he looks like he did a split.
Yeah.
And that's what caused them to not get back on defense.
So 34-21 the lead as Carbusia swings it. Fland, Jervis, why not? What a first half for Josiah Jervis. Another triple, his 3rd of this first half. He's got 16, which is also the lead for the Crusaders. Aaron Barfield's got a blocking foul down low. Foul on Fland, his 2nd, which will send Nolan Raymond to the line to shoot 2. First is good. See Raymond averaging just over 6 points per game. Had a strong end of the regular season. Knocks down the second. And his strong end of the season went right along with St. Francis Prep's strong end of the season, and Nolan Raymond found himself as a regular starter down the stretch and into the postseason. Flan down low. Beats the buzzer. And a big first half for the defending champions. A 39-23 lead for Stepinac. As we have John Perez on the court.
Pat, you were able to hold St. Francis Preps under 35% shooting from the floor. What'd you like about the defense?
Our talking, right? And I thought Monday at practice, Boogie and Braylon set the tone in a 4-on-4 drill we do, that they were so vocal that I felt good that we could build off it. We've been up at half before. We were up on Sunday. If we continue to talk, be physical, we got beat on one back door. We got to do a good job of continuing to stay together on the defensive end.
Josiah Jervis, 16 points. What's allowed him to succeed?
I told him, I manifested when I was up all night that Josiah would have 4 threes and Braylon would have 10 rebounds. So far they've done a good job. He's just ready. He's a player. We knew we had to have guys step up, and that's why we've been so good all year.
All right, thanks, Pat. Appreciate it.
I got to go a mile away to this locker room.
All right. He's going to the locker room. We'll send it back up to Dylan Butler.
Thanks, John. Thanks, Pat. Halftime here of the semifinals. 39-23 is the lead for Archbishop Stepinac, trying to get back to another intersectional final. We'll take a quick break. We'll have halftime stats and more right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching Varsity Media, New York's high school sports network.
Hey sports fans, did you know Varsity Media live stream broadcasts get viewed by college coaches nationwide? Through our announcers' storytelling and insight on your athletes, we can help your players get an edge on college recruiting. Find out how by reaching out to Varsity Media today, 516-403-2050, or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
My name's Grant Vermeer, a member of the Crown Refs community. My first year as a high school official, that's when I found out about the Crown Refs community. Having my military background, I love being a part of teams. I want to be a part of a group that has high standards, that holds each other accountable, but also supports and loves each other, and has a desire for everyone in the group to grow. If you're a young referee or someone who loves refereeing and wants to be a part of a group, this is an amazing community for you. I feel like I've gotten better as an official. I've had a community and friends and support through this process, which can otherwise be a little bit lonely as you're on the road a lot. The culture is amazing in here. Make sure to come check it out.
Hey parents, how about a bobblehead for your athlete? Bobbleheads are one of the most preferred personalized gift items today, and it's so easy to order. All you need is a photo of your athlete, a model number from our extensive collection of bobbleheads, and the sculpting process begins. 2 proofs are sent for your approval, and once it's approved, in a few weeks, your bobblehead is on the way. It's that simple. Order your bobblehead today by logging into varsitymediapass.com and click catalogs, or call 516-403-2050. When it comes to advertising, are you hitting the right audience? Why waste your time with television or a free print publication that's given out at a local deli? Varsity Media has your back. With a following of over 50,000 and a local demographic ranging between the ages of 18 and 54 years old, it's time to get that return on investment. Plus, here's the best part. Your ad lives forever on our YouTube page. And with a large on-demand audience, it's a grand slam to advertise with Varsity Media. Did you just have the best athletic year of your life, and now you want to show it off to college coaches? Well, let Varsity Media help you. Varsity Media's college recruiting videos show off your unique skills to help you land a spot on the team of your dream school. We'll provide music, spot shadow effects, and a link to send to your next coach. Contact us today for more information. Don't rely on word of mouth or cold emails. Let Varsity Media help you take your game to the next level. Feel like your game film is too stagnant and not providing you with the insight that your coaches had hoped for? Varsity Media offers game film to help your coaches develop a game plan to execute on game day. Our current clients love the Varsity Media difference, which includes more insightful camera angles and a speedy upload process. Start building your championship team today with award-winning individuals at Varsity Media.
Varsity Media offers live streaming services for any sport. With human beings behind the camera, you can expect the proper coverage angles during each game. We offer customizable options such as live scoreboard, multiple cameras, instant replay, graphics, and even announcers. Find out how you can save $100 off a live stream package with Varsity Media by calling 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Are you a local business looking for new and creative ways to promote your company? Varsity Media offers affordable rates that can get your message across to a demographic of 18 to 54 years of age. Our follower base across social media is over 50,000 strong, and our viewership numbers per game are in the thousands. Don't blow your advertising budget on old staples like TV and radio media. Reach out to Varsity Media to get the best bang for your buck.
Did you know Varsity Media now offers action photography for all sporting events? Available for individuals or teams, we'll send dedicated photographers down to field level to capture your best moments. Our rates are affordable, and our photos will leave you with lasting memories for a lifetime. Contact us today, mention this ad, and get $25 off your first order. Email ben@varsitymedia.net or call 516-403-2050.
High school sports fans, are you following Varsity Media on our YouTube channel? For the best coverage of New York high school sports, make sure you head to youtube.com/varsitymedia. 3 easy steps. First, hit that like button, and then be sure to subscribe. And finally, tap that yellow bell to be notified of all of our upcoming sportscasts. Thank you for following Varsity Media on YouTube.
Varsity Media is offering a video folder that you can customize to meet your needs. A photo of your athlete can be elegantly placed in the front panel. Essential statistics with a biography can be printed on the inside panel, and videos can be downloaded and viewed on an LCD screen for as long as 2 hours. The attractive video folder can be placed on a coffee table and instantly becomes a conversation starter. Order your video folder today by logging into varsitymediapass.com and click Catalogs, or give us a call at 516-403-2050. Looking to grow your business on social media? Let Varsity Media help you. With over 50,000 followers across our platform, sponsor a segment during the broadcast and share it on social media the next day. It's the best of both worlds, as you'll get thousands of plays and your ad will live on the broadcast forever. Contact us today for sponsorship packages by calling 917-470-0864 or emailing varsitymediasponsors@gmail.com.
Back at Rose Hill Gymnasium, Dylan Butler, John Perez here. It's halftime of the CHSAA AA intersectional semifinals, and it was all Archbishop Stepinac, John, in that first half. Let's take a look at some of those first half stats.
Yeah, as you break it down, it was all working for the Crusaders, outscoring them 39-23. Biggest thing, rebounding department and the assist. St. Francis Prep wasn't making baskets, that's why the assists weren't up there, but it always seemed like Stepinac found the open man, and they started it defensively as well, did a good job in transition. Hey, they're hitting 50% of their shots. St. Francis Prep is not, and in fact, they're struggling badly. We'll see what the adjustments are here, because if the plan was to not let Boogie get hot, they're right, they didn't. But they didn't account for Josiah Jervis, who was lighting it up for Archbishop Stepinac, and we've also seen the bench come up big for the Crusaders.
That number, that 12 spot of assists in the first half, is something that Pat Massaroni has said he's been seeing from his team, especially down the stretch of the season, which obviously means that it's the extra pass, it's everyone getting involved. It's not just Danny Carbucia giving out 12 assists, although he did have 5. Boogie Flan had 5 of those 12, but it's making that extra pass and trusting your teammates.
Yeah, and what's not to trust? I'll trust Braylon Ritvo, Hassan Karesi, Josiah Jervis, Jordan Gabriel. I said this earlier, Dylan. I'll stand on my soapbox here, and people say I'm waving the Crusader pom-poms, but this is still one of the best teams, regardless if Boogie Flan is on the team or not. It's just a testament to how deep they are, how they've got so many weapons, and they're tough for any team to handle.
It's remarkable to think, too, that once upon a time back in December, they had a 3-game losing streak, right? And they had to, granted, one was to Mount Verd, one was to IMG Academy, but they had to kind of circle the wagons a little bit and get internal and try to talk about things and figure things out. And they had a similar situation after the St. Ray's loss, where it was like, all right, listen, we'll spend a few days now on what went wrong in that game, and now let's talk about what went right for 2 months when we had a 16-game winning streak. And then a lot of it, because they saw it in the St. Ray's game, the first team to show them zone, was now we're going to break down every possible zone defense we can, spending 90 minutes at a clip attacking the zone.
Yeah, and that's what the best coaches do. Pat Massaroni, you give him 3 days, he'll figure out a strategy, let alone 8 days. That's only going to help him. So, with that said, credit to him. The team's adjusted. They've bought in. And it's a reason why the Coach of the Year continues to be, off to obviously a great – it's crazy to believe how many years he's been the head coach for Stepinac now. It seems like yesterday was year number 1. He had Jordan Tucker and Andre Hyatt, but now has really developed a culture over there and really good in-game manager.
Faison will be called for the foul as Boogie was trying to break through his second, and we mentioned it late in the first half. Somehow Vera Anthony on the floor, and he's stretching out that groin, and who would have thought that maybe he's got a worse groin right now than Danny Carbucia, who that was the story coming in, was how long can Carbucia go? And you kind of figured maybe St. Francis Prep, at least in that one spot, would have an edge because you had a healthy Vera Anthony.
Right, but also to be fair, too, to Carbucia, he didn't practice for 5-6 days either, and he was getting treatment every day. Vera Anthony pulled his groin 15 minutes ago.
Foul line jumper by Gabriel off the mark. Gabriel's first game in the Catholic League was on a Friday night at Cardinal Hayes last year. Talk about a baptism of fire. Did well in that and in the season, but has really matured as a player this year. Faison inside to Sacco. Fake on the baseline. Nolan Raymond buries the jumper.
He's got a pretty jump shot, Nolan Raymond, senior. Does a really good job on the ball fake to get himself open and can it. And now St. Francis has to rotate defensively.
Jervis misses the three, something he didn't do in the first half, and Gabriel comes away with the offensive rebound inside the flange. fouled. Foul on Veer Anthony. As Boogie will make his way to the foul line. And as much as Fland will deflect and allow his teammates to do their things, we saw it against Christ the King. Coming off of that, listen, it wasn't a vintage performance in any way by Fland in the Archdiocesan final. He put his team on his back, and that's something he said, listen, it's the end of my season. I want another chip. I'm gonna lead you guys there, and he did that obviously with a spectacular 43-point performance.
Well, and it wasn't just that too. It was the 11 rebounds that he had, and really did a good job of speeding up the game when needed be, slowing it down. Just a consummate professional, Boogie Fland.
Gabriel fouled Sacco on his way to the basket, so Big O to the line, just 5 points in that first half. First free throw in and out. St. Francis Prep scored 12 points in the first quarter, 11 points in the second quarter, and they're a team that they don't want to get up and down. They don't want to get in to a 70-point game. They are very comfortable in the 50s, and Jimmy Lynch has said, listen, if we get like 62, 63 points, we win the majority of those games because they are so good defensively.
Well, Stepinac's figured them out. Whether it's the zone, the man-to-man.
Ridfeld misses a three. That was a Jervis tap back, but Ridfeld lost it on his way there.
I know this possession is going to go to St. Francis Prep, but the hustle points are rewarding Stepinac there. They get an open jumper. They out-hustle for the rebound. They're just creating more possessions.
St. Francis Prep, a team averaging this season 64.3 points per game, 56.1 points against. Veer Anthony looking to post up. Carbusia gets him inside, and looks like it was Fland called for the foul. Carbusia called for the foul.
And that'll be a second as Anthony still leading the way with 9 points for the Terriers. Couple assists, 2 rebounds.
Back rim on the first. Stepinac on the other side of things, a AA leading 75.4 points per game. And they give up 62.4 points a game. Veer Anthony missed both.
St. Francis Prep now shooting 54% from the free throw line. Just one of many reasons why they're not getting it done today.
And they're getting opportunities. Here's Michelle, open three, side rim. Sacco rips it down, fouled there by Gabriel.
And then Dylan, the stats just tell the story. Stepinac's got 8 offensive rebounds. St. Francis Prep has 2. And the Terriers just haven't been able to convert. It hasn't been easy. Anthony can't even cut the baseline because Jervis is just getting it done on both ends. And a clear size advantage, too, for the Crusaders.
Across the board. Sacco loses it. Gets it back, wrestles it away, and we'll have a jump ball. The ball will stay with St. Francis Prep. Jordan Gabriel makes the trip from Mineola up to White Plains every day. Anthony.
Love that Anthony is still playing, even if it's 1.5 legs himself. Such a gritty player. Doing everything he can to try and spark St. Francis Prep.
The deficit is 13. Here's Flands. Gabriel. Good defense by Michelle. Giving up a couple inches there. Caressi will now come in for Gabriel.
See a smaller lineup, too, for Stepinac, and really open it up, transition.
Caressi misses the jumper. And here comes Vera Anthony. Anthony, an explosion, a left-handed layup.
Don't look now, Dill. 5 unanswered for the Terriers, led by Mr. Anthony.
Well, Pat Massaroni is recognizing that fact, calls a 30-second timeout.
Yeah, we'll see Anthony once again. Caressi wasn't sure to commit. Lane opens up. And a bucket for St. Francis Prep. So either way, for Stepinac now, Massaroni in there and just shoring up the X's and O's on defense and settling down St. Francis, trying to settle down his team against St. Francis Prep. And listen, we know that Prep's, like you said, they're not going to score 80 points a game, but they can go on a run, and we saw what they can do shooting from downtown. And you don't want to give them any hope at all. If you're Stepinac, and for Jimmy Lynch, stay the course, defend, box out.
Chip away.
Chip away, that's right. Find a way.
Out of the timeout. Jervis up top to Fland. Ritvo with the handoff. Here comes Fland, guarded by Sacco. Whips it down low. Good defense. And then Jervis gets up and under.
Pretty finish by Jervis, and finally coming alive in the second half. It was his show in the first.
Faison!
Nice little response there by Faison going to the rack. Want to see him be a little bit more aggressive, too. That was the thing. He took over in spurts against Cardinal Hayes, and we haven't seen that this evening against Stepinac.
And the first time we're seeing Dylan Perry into the game. Did not play against Christ the King because of the 10 stitches. Needed a freak accident at practice. Faison misses the free throw. Michelle went for the rebound. Jump ball will go Stepinac's way.
That's what keeps you up at night as a coach, Dylan. St. Francis Prep 7 of 14 from the free throw line.
Land the threes, too, right? I mean,
right. Yeah, you missed 9 of 10. It's not going to get it done.
Which came after making 10 on these rims.
And they're getting open looks.
Yeah.
And they're getting good shots. They're just not falling.
One of those nights. Jervis fires it down low. Perry, the bounce pass. And Fland, how about that? Boogie Fland with the body control, inviting the contact and with the finish.
Yeah, we'll take another look as Fland gets to the free throw line, and you're right. You got to love that body control, especially going. He slips past Anthony, draws the contact from Sacco, money.
And he completes the three-point play. (46-32) the lead. Michelle from the corner. Off the mark. Vera Anthony grabs the rebound, and then he is fouled. You've practically coined the phrase, there's no fear in Veer, but there's also no quit in Veer. And listen, if you're a college coach, whether it's here or you're watching the game, these are the kind of things you like. How does a guy respond when your team is struggling? Maybe when you're also injured.
Right, and that's usually the difference between getting a scholarship offer from one program and not getting it from another is body language, and that's the biggest indicator. Now, I don't blame him for this body language just because he could read the lips right there. He said, I don't know what to do.
Missed both. And that probably speaks as loudly as anything about what's happening for St. Francis Prep as Carbusia responds on the other side with a triple.
There's just too many weapons for Stepinac, and Carbusia was shooting around 30% from three, finally cans one.
Anthony the save. Nigel Moore stripped on his way in. Now it's a 3-on-1 break. Faison tries to get a piece, but Fland will get the layup. Timeout for St. Francis Prep.
Stepinac playing championship basketball here and getting out on the break. Good job in transition.
We'll take the break with them as well. 2:42 left in the third quarter. It is all Archbishop Stepinac. You're watching the CHSAA AA Semifinals on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching Varsity Media, New York's high school sports network. Did you just have the best athletic year of your life, and now you want to show it off to college coaches? Well, let Varsity Media help you. Varsity Media's college recruiting videos show off your unique skills to help you land a spot on the team of your dream school. We'll provide music, spot shadow effects, and a link to send to your next coach. Contact us today for more information. Don't rely on word of mouth or cold emails. Let Varsity Media help you take your game to the next level.
It's good to be that guy right now. Pat Massaroni has his Crusaders with a 19-point lead in the latter stages here of this third quarter, trying to make another trip back to the intersectional final.
Well, he's been in the final every year over the last few years, and winning a title obviously last year, and knocking off Christ the King in his pursuit. Beat Cardinal Hayes last year, and he'll have to beat Nazareth this year, but this one's still not over with, even though St. Francis Prep is down 19.
Here's the thing. Here's the interesting point, and it is the case because obviously Nazareth is in the final, but we won't have a Archdiocese rematch as we had the last 2 years, as we had 4 rounds of an even fight between Stepinac and Hayes. They split 8 games over the course of the previous 2 seasons. And the interesting note here is that the Archdiocese loser, as Sacco with a nice finish inside, the Archdiocese loser in each of those games went on to win the intersectional final.
Right, which is obviously you want to win the Archdiocese or the diocese, but it's not the end goal, and it does help with seeding. But hey, I mean, when you've got this core for Stepinac, you can afford to lose one, late February and still be good for March.
Carbusi inside. Perry showing no ill effects. Taking the hard contact. There you see the masked man. Dylan Perry.
I'll Rip Hamilton. I always liked the Kyrie Irving Bane mask. It was all black. That was pretty sweet. But you never want to see a player wear a mask because obviously there's an injury there. And a little friendly fire for the Crusaders in practice too.
Hang on, everybody. We have another free throw to take. Don't get too excited. Perry's right there with him. He's like, I don't know. I guess
so.
I guess I only had 1 free throw. That was Sacco's 3rd foul. As Perry goes 1 of 2. Anthony, no look inside. Faison
The evolution of that 1-2 combo for St. Francis Prep this year has been fun to watch. They read so well without each other. They train in the off season together, and good connection there. And still one more year for these two.
And Faison's a guy who has made such a big leap from the start of the season until now. And listen, when Vera Anthony was out with a back injury, it was Troy Faison running point, and the Terriers didn't miss a beat.
Yeah, no, not at all. That's what makes teams good, Dylan. You know, you're able to go through it even if you're not 100% on the floor.
Redfo, front rim.
And you're going to need different heroes throughout the year. And there are times where this man has stepped up, Braylon Ritfo. We saw it in the first quarter and first half today for Josiah Jervis. And then on the other end for St. Francis Prep, it was the Saco coming out party in the BQ final. Vera Anthony had a good game. Tyler Michelle was the hero in their win over St. Peter's.
Faison, foul line. Off the mark. And Pat Massaroni going even deeper on his bench. Jack Coco, the sophomore, has checked in. There's Dylan Perry. A little shake, a little bake, little turn. Good defense by Sacco to deny him, and he'll go back out to Rivera. Excuse me, that's Sullivan. Stolen by Vera Anthony. And Vera Anthony with the layup.
Try and build some momentum as Anthony's fighting through it. Well, he can't move, Anthony.
Trying to stretch it out. Sullivan rejected by Sacco. 3 to try to beat the buzzer by Michelle was off the mark. 3 quarters in the books, and Stepinac has almost written their way in to the intersectional final. Fourth quarter when we return right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Hey, it's Isaiah Hartenstein. You're watching Varsity Media.
Welcome back to Rose Hill Gymnasium. Dylan Butler, John Perez, our entire Varsity Media crew with you. Fourth quarter about to begin. While we have a chance, John, let's take a look at the previous champions here in the Catholic High School League, and alluding to your earlier point, a lot of Stepinac in these recent championship games.
Yeah, a ton of Stepinac knocking off Cardinal Hayes, losing to the Hayesmen in 22. Christ the King, that big win in 2019. But about Christ the King and Stepinac going back-to-back, I mean, that's now 4 years in a row that Stepinac has been in the final. They win today, that'd be 5. Something that's been unheard of, and only other, trying to think, what other schools have been to 5 finals in a row? Not many in such a great league and one of the best leagues in the nation.
I mean, you might have to go back. Rice might have done it because you had Rice. But the thing is, there you had those 3 teams. You had Rice, St. Ray's, and Christ the King. So one of them was going to knock one of those off, as Michelle fighting his way through for the bucket and foul. Well, listen, when you say something, people respond. So let's see if people respond.
Yeah, if there's anyone out there at home that's watching, and I know you guys are, because I read the DMs, look up the last time somebody went to 5 titles in a row, and I'd have to, you're probably looking at the 70s or 80s, Dylan. Maybe. Because you're right about the 3-headed monster in Rice, Rays, and King.
Well, but that's the thing. And at those times, now it's power. Now it's
right.
You know, LaSalle had a run as well in the 90s. Faison, his 3 off the mark. I mean, I obviously can't look it up myself right now, so we do rely on our viewers.
Usually one of our viewers is coaching in this game, so we'll look it up afterwards.
3 is long by Sacco. And here is Flans. So smooth getting to the basket.
It's been really fun to watch him cook over these last 2 years, and what a player he's going to be at Kentucky.
Sacco stripped. Corner 3, in and out. Here's Faison. Faison attacks Perry, and he'll get the finish at the rim.
Nice job to hang on the rim and get there, and then a foul is Fland and Raymond jostling for position.
And Veer Anthony coming in with his Terriers down 11. Sacco the rebounds. Largest lead was 19. Faison, look out. Crashes on the baseline, but he'll go to the line to shoot 2. Physicality not an issue for Troy Faison, who, and this is a pretty remarkable statement, I think, is a 2-year dual varsity sport starter.
Yeah, a great football player playing for Rich Carroll and a young St. Francis Prep team. Is a leader on that team. They love his physicality, his leadership that he brings to the table, and you can see how it translates on both sides. He's one of the best conditioned players as well, and certainly does a lot.
Gabriel checks back in. Well, we have our answer. Christ the King went to 6 straight finals from 2006 to 2011.
Of course, they won in 07, 10, 11. I believe that 07 team was Irvin Walker, right? And then Omar Calhoun was on the 10 and 11 team.
Well, if you're wrong, we will find out.
Yeah, no, well, definitely. I know who was on the 2010 team.
10-point ball game all of a sudden. Nigel Moore, Veer Anthony. Oh, Jordan Gabriel sent that one back into the St. Francis Prep bench.
It's nice to be 6'8", Dill. You can get back on defense and you can really wipe out a lot of space. Take another look, get that out of here, and then a kick ball by Boogie Fland.
.5:11 left in the fourth quarter. Veer Anthony, the kick out. Tyler Michelle missed it, put back by Anthony.
All right, Dill, first time that St. Francis Prep has put together an elongated stretch and a good run. We'll see how Stepinac responds.
I suspect Veer Anthony knows who he is because I think he's just like a basketball head. As Jervis.
I know who Jervis is. He's him.
A dagger 3. As it's an 11-point lead for Stepinac. We'll take the break with them, but first, Josiah Jervis. It's Ritvo, it's Jervis, it's a triple, and it's an 11-point lead for Stepinac. 4:43 left, fourth quarter, on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Did you know Varsity Media now offers action photography for all sporting events? Available for individuals or teams, we'll send dedicated photographers down to field level to capture your best moments. Our rates are affordable and our photos will leave you with lasting memories for a lifetime. Contact us today, mention this ad, and get $25 off your first order. Email ben@varsitymedia.net or call 516-403-2050.
Welcome back to Rose Hill Gymnasium. Off of that made three-pointer, it's again a double-digit lead for Stepinac as the Crusaders 4 minutes and 43 seconds away, John, from what would be an intriguing matchup in the final against Nazareth.
It'll be a lot of fun because if we are saying that this score will hold, you've got a very disciplined team in Archbishop Stepinac, a team that seldomly turns the ball over, a very good three-point shooting team, and then for Nazareth, trying to land a plane without a pilot sometimes. Still both very talented teams and should be a fun one, but hey, you still got 4.5 to play. If you're St. Francis Prep, they're starting to put momentum there, and they need this jumper.
Moore missed it short. And not that you're surprised, John, but I think the battle in the Terriers is impressive here down the stretch.
Yeah, it's no quit. It's a testament to their coaching staff. They put in the hours. They changed the mindset of St. Francis Prep, and they're turning them into a power that's always in a position to win. Boogie Flan will always put you in that spot, too.
Yeah, he helps the cause. There's another bucket for Boogie. You see it again.
On the ISO, it doesn't matter who's guarding him. He'll take on all four.
And knocks down the free throw. McDonald's All-American, the latest high-level player out of Stepinac. Faison gets to the hoop. A 30-second timeout called by Jimmy Lynch at St. Francis Prep. But you mentioned it before. You've R.J. Davis, obviously looking like the player of the year collegiately at North Carolina. Joel Soriano having a terrific year, and Rick Pitino's first year as St. John's head coach, another product of Archbishop Stepinac.
And it extends even further. You get Alan Griffin, the older brother of A.J. Griffin, who's now playing for the Atlanta Hawks. He was great. Spent some time over at Syracuse. Xavier McDaniel, obviously Soriano. I'm trying to remember the other players that they had in there. They've just had so many. I remember Jordan Tucker, Andre Hyatt the first year. But yeah, it's just the culture that Massaroni has had. He's had good players. They've responded. It helps that he's a good coach when your players are stars and have that foundation.
Well, and also it helps when you've got those early classes and you say, you can't, I guess, use the recruiting word, but, let's be honest here. When you've got potential student athletes deciding among different schools, you can say, well, look, these guys, we helped get them there, and now look at the success they're having there. So
right.
Look at how far we've gone. Look at the championships we've won, and all those things help in the conversation when a kid, especially in that area, you got Iona, Tim Philp, and he was with Joe Loads at Hayes and Stepinac. I mean, there's a lot of opportunity, a lot of choices among that triumvirate.
No, you can't go wrong with either Stepinac, Iona Prep, Cardinal Hayes, you're going to get a good education regardless of the institution that you go to, but it certainly helps when you're winning or in a position to win every year. But yeah, selfishly, Dylan, for some of these players and families, unfortunately sometimes, they want their players and their sons to be the best athlete out there, and they want their son to be the next McDonald's All-American. And when you've got one that's handling the ball right now and you've had others in the past, you're going to want to send them to that program.
Down low, it's Ritvo inside. Veer Anthony off the glass, no good. Foul called against Stepinac. It's against Ritvo, his third.
That's all you can do is laugh at this point now for Stepinac because everything's been going their way.
Was Monosako to the line. Front rim in the first. Has struggled, and he's not alone. He has struggled at the foul line today as a team. You mentioned the numbers before, 10 of 21 for St. Francis Prep, as Sacco goes 1 of 2. We invite you to stick around post-game. John Perez will be courtside. Speak to, oh man, Pat Marasoni. I thought he was going to hurt his hamstring there. He was hustling down the line.
I wanted to tell Jimmy Nolan, hey, I need a timeout here.
Take a look at some of the leading scorers this year in the Catholic League, and Josh Powell lighting it up, 21.7 points per game, and there you see Boogie coming in at 6th, right behind Brandon Storrs and right in front of Dwayne Pierce. Kalon Rollins.
Yeah, how about that? For a program that is going to the final, they've got one top 12 scorer in Halon Rollins. And it just shows how complete that Nazareth is. And same thing with Stepinac. Boogie's going to get his. He's the straw that stirs the drink. He makes them go. But it just shows how balanced both Stepinac and Nazareth are as a unit.
Also, is I think proof of concept that just because you might have the leading scorer, and even in this case, the top 2 leading scorers in a league that Malloy has, it doesn't mean that you're going to be successful.
Well, I mean, they scored 40 points a game, the 2 of them. Where's the rest of the offense? And that's usually what it comes down to. I think most coaches will sacrifice, a bunch of guys that'll score 12 points a game if they're all contributing.
Anthony called for the foul as Ritvo will go to the line. That was a point I was going to make before on Veer Anthony, is the way that he's battling through a clear injury. I think he might know because he strikes me as just like a basketball head, right? But looking a lot like Willis Reed out there. That reference might be lost on maybe 9 other players in the court, but I shouldn't say that. I think Boogie might. I think Boogie's right there with him.
We'll make sure to ask him.
That'd be your lead question.
Yes, that is journalism 101.
Carbucci to bounce pass. Ritvo inside.
How about now Ritvo getting it done defensively? It was rewarded before.
And Gabriel, the exclamation point.
Night, night. Stepinac, get ready. 5 straight finals appearances. I mean, that's first time in almost 15 years.
And now Ritvo with a dunk. Becoming like a glorified scrimmage out there. And Michelle called for the foul on Carbusia.
And that might just be all she wrote. Stepinac starting to feel it, and go ahead, Dill.
Yeah, no, I was going to say it is with 19-point lead with 132 left. I don't think there's a might to it. Ball out of bounds. As Gabriel back in for Caresi. You feel for these Terriers 3 consecutive trips to the semifinals, and that's where their season ended in 3 consecutive years as Faison misses the triple. And Boogie Flan comes away with it. Back-to-back years, it was to Cardinal Hayes. And 2 years ago at Hofstra, it was to a Hayes team that would win the Catholic League Championship. As we're under a minute left in this fourth quarter. Feed down low, and Boogie fouled. And he'll shoot at least 2 more free throws. First for Fland is good. Point number 20 on this game. And wholesale substitutions now. Nolan Raymond going to the bench. A senior, so he's hearing it from the St. Francis bench and fans for his last time on the court. Same true of Tyler Michelle. Classy move by Jimmy Lynch to give his seniors their moment in the sun. Veer Anthony, his 3 is long. He's a junior. He's back once again. Veer Anthony, all he knows is getting to the semifinals, and no doubt he'll like to make that extra step next year, as no reason here with the shot clock off. You hold the ball out, and Stepinac, for a 5th consecutive year, have reached the intersectional final. They win this one 73 to 52. St. Francis Prep, their season ends at 20-9. And Stepinac, they are now 24-4. And our intersectional final is all set. With Nazareth taking on Archbishop Stepinac. We'll send it down to the floor. John Perez with Boogie Fland and Pat Massaroni.
Down here, Boogie Fland, Pat Massaroni. Will start with our player of the game, Boogie Fland, 19 points in the victory. It took a while for you to get going. How much did you put it on yourself to get everyone else involved in the first half before you were able to get your own?
I mean, I saw what they was doing. I saw that they was helping mostly. So that means everybody else is going to be open. You know, making the right reads, making the right plays. You know, early on, had a couple turnovers and that little help. Adjusted through the game, and, you know, we got the W. One
of the players that was really lighting it up first half, Josiah Jarvis. What has he meant to this team, and how does he make you guys better as a unit?
I mean, he's ready. You know, when you need him, he's ready. You know, he just had, how much he had in the first? Like 11 points, you know. We need him to step up big. Championship game, he stepped up big this game, and we're going to need it early on.
You guys are in very rare territory in the CHSAA, the first team since probably 15 years that has gone to 5 straight finals. I'm curious, how much pride do you have when you put on that Stepinac uniform every day?
A lot of pride. You know, we want to go down in history as one of the best teams to have do it in the city. You know, we're going to try to go back-to-back on Sunday and see what happens.
Boogie, I'll let you go celebrate with your team. Thanks again.
Thank you.
That's Boogie Flan. We'll bring in a very happy Pat Massaroni and a oracle as well of the CHSAA. Now 5 straight finals appearances. And Pat, when you think about that, what comes to mind?
It's the 6th in a row to get to these semifinals was something. I think somebody told me when we lost that game to Malloy at St. John's on the phantom foul call, right, with 0.7 seconds going to offensive rebound. I remember somebody saying it hurts so bad because of how hard it is to get back to these games, how hard it is to be in the Final Four, to get to the finals. And the program has been built to the level it's at now. And, my name gets put on it, but it's a team effort. Swain's been with me from day one. Al, Lexus, our administration. I'm just proud to be there. For some reason, there was some people in the city doubting us to get there again after one loss. And just happy for these kids. And we talk about we over me, and Josiah said that, and then down the list, Jordan's been playing great with Dylan banged up. Proud of the effort.
I'll get your initial reaction, but your thoughts on facing an upstart Nazareth team.
Yeah, Gary, when you look at a team, no matter who you play, and you look how hard they play for him, that's a credit to him and his staff. We haven't played them all year, just the way it worked out. Went from now playing a potential team 4 times to somebody new. For him to go from the A final back-to-back years to the AA final, he's doing something right, and those kids play hard. We'll enjoy this tonight and then be ready to go for their physicality, do our best to handle that, from start to finish. I think they'll be a little different for us when it comes to half-court basketball, and we got to be able to handle that.
Pat, your message to the Stepinac Jungle watching at home.
We need you Sunday. I'll buy you pizza. I'll get you a bus. Get here. It's only $5. The train's right there. Maybe Mr. Carty will give you a day off the next day. I don't know, but dress down, something. We need you. We've been here 5 straight times and trying to get win number 3.
Appreciate it, Pat. Thanks for the time.
Appreciate it.
It's Pat Massaroni. Dill, send it back up to you.
Thanks, John, and congratulations to Pat Massaroni on another trip to the Intersectional Championship game. Time now for our military standard cleaning play of the game. If you're looking to get your cleaning concerns resolved, call Military Standard Cleaning. They clean with precision. And the guy who was shooting threes with precision was Josiah Jervis. Led the way early on for the Crusaders, and then when the Terriers made a late run, cut it to 9, Ritfo kicks it out, and Josiah Jervis buries the triple. 21 points for Jervis, went 4 of 5 from beyond the arc to lead the way for the Crusaders as they are back in the championship game. That'll do it here from Rose Hill Gymnasium. Once again, the final score. Stepinac 73, St. Francis Prep 52. Stepinac and Nazareth are in the Intersectional Championship game. For our entire Varsity Media crew, our executive producer, Ben Turchin. For our technical director, Chris Sweeney. For our camera operators, Ron Pierre, Travis DeLuise, and Dan Acevedo. For my broadcast partner, John Perez. I'm Dylan Butler. Thanking you for joining us from Rose Hill Gymnasium. We look forward to seeing you Sunday afternoon from the Bronx for the Intersectional Final right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.